Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. Checking out a new Xbox game today. I would say an Xbox exclusive, but isn't because it's been on PC for a year. But look, check it out. This is Age of Empires 4 on the Xbox Series X, also on the Series S, obviously, and also on the Xbox One. This is Age of Empires, for those uninitiated. It's one of the granddaddy real-time strategy series. It goes all the way back to the 90s. And basically, it's one of the granddaddies, not just because it's one of the originators on the genre, but also it stands that way, even the older iterations, because, number one, they're technically complex. They're a little bit complex to play, a little bit complex to master. There's a lot of different ways to approach how you play. The series combines classic military-style real-time strategy and more like civ building or like town management or city management type real-time strategy. It kind of puts them together, though it leans more heavily on the military most of the time. But, you have units that you've got to train. You've got peasants that you've got to allocate to different jobs. You've got resource management. You've got to worry about gold and wood and food and stone. And you get all those things put together is how you build your cities and how you build your military and armies. And everything's historical in nature. That's what this little footage is here. These are little cutscenes that are between each level in the campaigns. There's 4 campaigns. And each one tells you a little bit about the history involved with what you're about to play. That's kind of the cool thing to me about Age of Empires, that it's historical. I'm a bit of a history buff due to my dad and my brother, who are huge history guys. My brother actually is an archaeologist, and he spent most of his career, most of his education in Scotland. And he became a Celtic archaeologist or a medieval archaeologist. So I have an affinity a little bit just because he has such a passion for this stuff. I have a little bit of passion too. And, Age of Empires is a great way to kind of engage with history. But if you're not into history, it's also just a great way to unwind. So let's talk about how it feels on Xbox versus how it might feel on PC. Now, if you've ever played an Age of Empires game, you know that it is a little bit complex. Maybe not so much if you're used to this stuff, but say you've never touched it before, there's a learning curve. Just because there's so much management, there's so much stuff you got to do. But the cool thing about Xbox, as you kind of see here, is that they've mapped all of it to a simple Xbox controller, which is great. They've had to make some concessions as far as complexity goes. They've streamlined the experience. They've made contextual radial menus that you can pick things from. You can manage whole sections of your army. You can manage your peasants. Now, this is a key thing, and if you're an Age of Empires fan, you'll find this really cool, I promise. If you can manage your peasants based on a workflow chart that you get to assign and customize if you want, and they'll just go and do the percentage of chopping wood, do the percentage of gathering grain at harvest, all that stuff, the gold collection, then the mining and stuff. They'll just do it automatically without you having to tell every single fucking peasant, you go do that, you go do that. God, dude, peasants. Sorry, I don't know why I put that in there. So it's streamlined for Xbox now. You hold down right trigger and you bring up a menu, contextual, based on where your cursor is placed or what you've got selected. And you can just blitz through the whole game like this. Really, really easy, really quickly. It's in 60 frames a second, 4K on the Series X. So it moves really smoothly. It plays really smoothly. The controller, a video game controller is a driving engine. A mouse and keyboard can do a lot of different things. But a video game controller just drives the action. So it's basically turned what is a fairly complex, not the most complex of real-time strategy games, but a fairly complex real-time strategy game into something that is totally playable on Xbox and is totally enjoyable. My God, I had so much fun with Age of Empires 4. I haven't played Age of Empires in a really long time. I loved the second one. Me and my friends used to have LAN parties with Age of Empires 2 and a couple other real-time strategy games. We used to love these games. because they both engage your action craving side, but also your strategy craving side. The meticulous nature of how you put an army together. And the only thing I will say, there is one downside to it being ported to Xbox, even though it runs beautifully. It's maybe not quite as intuitive as the developers wanted it to be. It is pretty intuitive. It takes a little time to get used to right bumper, click in right stick to bring up this menu, and also I just have to click on it on a computer screen, right? So it takes a little while to get up to speed on how to play the game properly. Also, I noticed that in the heat of battle, you know, they want you to use your archers against horsemen, use your pikes against horsemen, use your horsemen against infantry, but basically what you end up doing is selecting your whole army and tossing it at the bad guys, right? Because it's very difficult. It's more difficult to select groups and move them around the battlefield, especially when you're just like scrolling very slowly across the screen with your controller stick, your joystick. So it's a dumbed down version to a certain degree, but also it's kind of a very smart version to a certain degree. Just because you're taking the entirety of a keyboard, the entirety of a mouse, mapping it to an Xbox controller, and it just runs beautifully. But it is a little dumbed down. So if you're looking for the meticulous control, the real strategy, especially if you're talking about one-on-one matches online, which these games are great for versus, so don't even worry about that. You're gonna miss some of the control, but you're gonna love the ease of access, the ease of use. So, all that being said, I'm gonna give Age of Empires 4 on the Xbox. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because I really love this game and I really did enjoy it. And it's in the Game Pass even. So if you've got an Xbox and you're paying for the Game Pass, it's free other than the membership. You just download it and play it, and Jesus, there's nothing to lose because it's a classic. Well, the series is classic, and this is a great version of it. I promise you'll have a great time. Yeah. Age of Empires 4. Please do check it out if you're so inclined. Also, like and subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. Hit the notification bell. Also, everybody, do me a favor. Check out my new album, Bridges Burned, when it releases here in the first couple weeks of September sometime. I'm not really sure yet. It's around my birthday time. I figured it was fitting. Anyway, this is a good album. It's got lots of good rock songs and some acoustic songs and just really cool moments and some blues stuff, maybe, if you're into that. I'm not, promising. Never mind. Anyway, check this album out. Please enjoy it. And the likey and the subscribey and the play of the civvy. It's not civ. Jesus, this went ape shit. At least I can play Age of Empires 4.